Good afternoon, boys and girls. How you doing today? So today we are going to be doing the Infinity Stone flasher fobs. Okay, and if you don't know what a flasher is, it's one of these doohickeys right here. They are really popular. About 3 months ago, a whole bunch of the vinyl dealers got them in. They're like, this is a great thing. And then all of a sudden, none of the digitizers were doing designs for them. And I'll be the first to admit that I ordered some about 2 months ago. And it took me a while to figure out, A, what to do with them, and B, how to do it. I have seen some other digitizers. They're like, okay, and then for the last step, you hot glue gun. And I'm like, obviously, I'm not allowed to be around sharp or hot objects. So that didn't work for me. So I have worked out, I think they're gonna work great for these fobs. The 6 Infinity Stones from Marvel Avengers, Infinity Wars and Endgames. They play kind of an important role, so I designed some fobs around it. What you'll need for this one that we're doing is the Time Stone. You will need a 4.5 by 6 piece of black. That's the back. You'll need a 4.5 by 6 piece of gold. You will also need flasher vinyl, which is different than regular vinyl in that, can you see? I'm trying to get it so that you can see that it's kind of translucent. Let's turn off the light and put the flasher on it. There's the flasher. See, you can see through it. Unlike other vinyls, where you can't, yeah, you can see a little bit, but not as much as with flasher vinyl. Now the downside of flasher vinyl is it's so thin that it will not hold a lot of stitching. So that's one of the problems. So how do we do this? Well, 80% of these fobs are just like any other fob. You hoop it up, you do your die line, you float your first piece of vinyl, you do most of the design. Then you have to cut a little hole, and I'll show you how to do that. And then you attach the flasher vinyl to the back. Then you anchor it down. Then you attach the back, and these are gonna be an awful lot like the trapped fobs that I do, in that it's gonna leave a little opening in the final bean stitch where you'll be able to shove this puppy right up underneath, and then it'll do the final stitch so that the needle head's not trying to avoid your flasher. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I am going to run the die line. Back in a minute. So I've stitched my die line, or most of it. You'll notice my needle bobbin didn't catch. The next thing I do is I am only going to float this little piece of gold right here, and then I am going to run color stops 3 and 4. Actually 2, 3, and 4. The lettering, the decoration, and my die line for cut. So, step 1, die line. Float your vinyl, 2 in black, 3 in teal. You can also do 4 in teal. That's just a cut line. Back after those. Okay, so we have stitched out color stop 1, which was the die line, color stop 2, which is the lettering, color stop 3, which is all of this design, and color stop 4, which is your cutting die line. So now, here's the happy fun part. We have to cut out that center circle. Oh my gosh, no, not that. Yes, yes, that. So I always make a little start with my seam ripper. See, not very much, just a little bit. Then you find your very favorite pair of scissors in the entire world. Mine are the duckbills. And you go in and you snip right up to that line. Okay. And now I am going to carefully, while turning my hoop, not my scissors, cut a hole all the way around in a circle. Oh no, really? Yes, really. It's not that hard, I promise. The better you are at cutting, the easier this is. But it's really not that bad. It just goes slow. Take your time. Be patient. If you're in a hurry, that's when you make mistakes. Voila. Now I'm going to trim some of these hairs, some of these little thread bits, so they don't pop out and hide and show through. That wouldn't be very nice. Okay, now on the back side, I am going to take my flasher vinyl, and I am going to tape it rough side down towards the bottom of the hoop, smooth side towards the front of the hoop. And we're just going to snicker, and pop it back in the hoop. And we are going to run color stop 5, which will tack this down, and then I'll be back. So we have run that tack step for your flasher vinyl. It's just a bean stitch to hold the flasher vinyl in place, and you can use an incredibly smaller piece than this. I was just doing super fast cuts this morning. Now, nothing tricky, nothing strange so far. What we are going to do is we are going to tape the back, and we are going to do stitch number 6 and 7. Do not do 8 or 9. As soon as we're done, number 6 is going to give you your cam snap die lines, and number 7 is going to do 75%, 85% of your fob outline attaching the back. Then we'll come back and we'll shove our flasher, and then we'll do our last bit. So I'll be back after I do those. Okay, folks, we have done 95% of the fob. You'll see from the back, because I used white bobbin just to show you, that it did the majority of the fob outline. Now you've got a little gappy gap right here. Okay, I'm gonna trim some of my jumps because I'm super about the jumps. What can I say? Okay, and now I'm gonna take my little flasher thingy, and I'm gonna make sure the lights are pointed up, and I am going to carefully, from the back, lights facing up, slide this bad boy into my hoop, and I'm gonna get it positioned right about there. Okay. And see how we are flashy. I'm going to put her back in, and she is just going to do this line right here. She is going to completely and totally miss that flasher, and she's going to lock it in place. Back in just a second. Okay, folks, that's all it took, and I'm going to turn out some lights so you can see. Ooh, pretty. And my machine did not bog down or have a problem. It's all locked right into that place right there. We're going to unhoop. Yay. And from here, it is exactly like every other fob you've done in your life. We're gonna trim out. Okay, so that was rude. I was in the middle of cutting and talking and entertaining all of us. And my memory got full and the phone just shut off. So what I was saying is, just like any other fob, you carefully cut, turning your fob, not your scissors. Trying not to be distracted by the pretty shiny flashy lights. And there you go. Then you attach your little snap tab or rivet and your lobster claw or your ring. And there you go. Timestone Infinity Flasher Fob. Talk to you later.